We are very much in favor of getting our collective knowledge base up through impartial data. Apart from the development projects themselves, I think this presents a great opportunity to learn more about this river basin, get the science a little more firmly in hand, both the surface water and the groundwater. I think the GWMO has a good track record of doing that, and the other international organizations, and I think that will help get over some of the issues with countries developing their own data internally. So I think it's just a matter of coming to the table, I guess, tomorrow and talking about the specific facts that we're all interested in, but also understanding, that we want to move things along. So, we will never have the perfect science, but we want to get a good enough science to do good, sustainable projects that benefit the whole region.
I just wanted to say, so based on our discussion here, I gather that all three country representatives are actually basically in favor of looking into data sharing.
Yes.
And can I then say that all of your countries have laws in place that do not prohibit data sharing, which would be very important for us to know that we have no legal inhibitions in your respective countries. And in particular, it would be also interesting to know if Alpha state has some legislation in place that also enables local government to provide data, that there are no problems, because this would be something that we have to put into our terms of reference.
And then we could just perhaps use most of the time to really thrash out some kind of framework for this data, if there are some regulatory or legal impedances, as she mentioned, to put those, to make sure that there are none of them. If there are, then how do we take care of them? Do they meet the laws of each of the three countries and the state?
All right. Well, I just want to thank you all for taking the time to do that. I went around the room and talked with a lot of you individually and heard really great things. So I appreciate all of you sharing with me some of your concerns and interests in this process. And I also heard a lot of sharing amongst different groups of ways that you might begin working together, sharing concerns, things like that. And above and beyond anything else, I want to thank you all. I heard a lot of positive attitude, which was one of our ground rules and one of our hopes for this process. So I think that was a really great way to start things off.
Gamma, so I had a chance to talk to pretty much everybody, just very, very briefly with Marion. But I think listening to the primary concerns of the different countries and the primary objective of Gamma, there's definitely some low-hanging fruit, some win-win-win situations with development within Gamma that would address some of the flood control issues, address some of the sediment issues, and address the need for hydropower and development within our country. So we're happy to host some of the potential new projects, and then also had a chance to talk with Sabrina, and very optimistic about what could be done with the being proactive about the environmental impacts of the potential development schemes and making sure it's done properly.
Great, thank you, Kevin.
And when I say that, just to give you some examples of how we can play a supportive role, it's through joint data collection, and that's not just technical data, that's social data, economic data, and ecological data. Another thing that we could contribute is future scenario development, especially if we need to take into account aspects of climate change or other global change processes in the future. We could assist with early flood warning systems, developing that sort of feedback system. We could also play a role in developing or even acting as a clearinghouse for a common database. And one of the challenges of that is to standardize your units of measurement so that the data and the information is useful for all the different countries and states involved. Linked to many of these things is we could provide indicator-based monitoring and evaluation throughout the process. But I would like to just end with reiterating the fact that we're here to help you. So we're here to play a supportive role. What are the gaps? What are the knowledge gaps? Where are the scientific gaps? You tell us, and then we can then have a discussion on how to move forward on that. Thanks.
To address that. So that's going to be one of the areas we're going to look at in the next meeting, information sharing and knowledge generation. And so I encourage you all to come to our next meeting, bringing that so we can discuss and maybe look at areas where we might need joint fact finding or something like that to try to make good decisions together.